Are people really innocent until proven guilty? In 2006, 3 men's lacrosse players from Duke University were falsely accused of rape. The case gained a lot of media attention on a national level, along with faculty and peers. There were many disputes on race, class, due process, and media speculation. This case gained media attention because it had a lot of the factors that journalists could use to interest readers: class, race, athletic privilege, and rape on a college campus. The case escalated the already tense relations between Duke University and the Durham community. The town surrounding Duke University is a very impoverished town with a mainly African American population. The people of Durham were unhappy that a mainly white upper-class university would be in the center of their town. With the accusations of the Durham District Attorney, Mike Nafong, withheld DNA evidence that would exonerate the men. The men accused were in the beginning of their lacrosse season. Colin Finnerty and Reed Siegelman, both sophomores, and David Evans, a co-captain and senior, were falsely accused of rape by Crystal Mangum. At the time of the events, Crystal Mangum was 2 years off of a 2-year probation for stealing a taxicab, driving drunk over 2 times the legal limit, and hitting the patrol car of an officer. She had also falsely accused men of rape and kidnap before.
On April 10th, players' attorneys announced that DNA testing by the North Carolina State Crime Lab had failed to connect any members of the Duke men's lacrosse team to the alleged rape. Reed Seligman and Colin Finnerty were arrested on April 10, 2006. David Evans on May 15th of the same year. On the day that David Evans turned himself in, he gave a speech in front of the police station proclaiming his innocence.
First, I want to say that I'm absolutely innocent of all the charges that have been brought against me today, that Reed Seligman and Colin Finnerty are innocent of all the charges that were brought against them. When the police first came to my home, I fully cooperated and have continued to try to cooperate with them. When they entered in and started to read the search warrant, my roommates and I helped them find evidence for almost an hour and told them that if they had any questions, we would gladly answer them to show that nothing happened that night. I'd like to say thank you to my friends and family, my coach, and members of the community who have stood by us through everything from the initial weeks to now. Their support has given me the strength to come through this, but the thing that gives me the most strength is knowing that I have the truth behind me, and it will not faze me.
On December 15th, it was revealed that Brian Meehan, who was responsible for the trial's DNA testing, had withheld information in accordance to an agreement made between himself and Nifong. This resulted in the official DNA report failing to state that although multiple DNA was found on Mangum, none of it belonged to any of the Duke players. It was also revealed that Seligman had a solid alibi in the form of ATM records, photographs, cell phone records, and an affidavit from a taxi driver, and a record of his Duke card being swiped at his dorm. Due to the overwhelming evidence supporting the 3 players' innocence, all charges were dropped on April 11, 2007 by North Carolina Attorney General Roy Cooper. Cooper stated that the players were victims of a tragic rush to accuse and called Nafong a, quote, rogue prosecutor. The 3 men received an undisclosed settlement from Duke University for not protecting them from student and teacher discrimination. During the trial, pictures of the 3 students, including their home addresses, were posted around school. Teachers were also reported to have treated the students unfairly, including giving lacrosse players bad grades. After the case was dismissed, Reed Seligman transferred to Brown University in fall 2007, going on to study law. David Evans went to University of Pennsylvania Wharton School to get his master's in business. Colin Finnerty went to Loyola College at Baltimore, graduating with a degree in communications. All the players were involved with the Innocence Project, an organization dedicated to exonerating falsely accused and convicted people by using DNA evidence. Speaking about his involvement, Seligman stated that, quote, I'd wish I'd say I'm a noble guy, and I would have done all that stuff, but probably wouldn't have gotten so involved in all that if my life hadn't been so implicated by a similar case. Crystal Magnum is currently serving out a sentence for second-degree murder. In 2013, she stabbed her boyfriend to death. She's currently serving a 14 to 18-year sentence.
Claire Smith went to school with Colin Finnerty after he transferred into Loyola College. When asked, she said, by the time he started on campus, the charges had been dropped, so it was collectively accepted that he was innocent. This case was the first high-profile false rape accusation that had been made. Lacrosse, as a sport, didn't have the same national caliber that football or basketball have. And then a horrendous story about lacrosse players splashed the front of newspapers everywhere. This brought lacrosse to the forefront of the media, and more people became involved in the sport. It is now the fastest-growing sport in America. Most people who didn't directly know any of the lacrosse players involved probably thought that it was true. However, the time between when Seligman, Evans, and Finnerty were arrested to when the charges were dropped spanned less than a year, so their innocence was pretty quickly accepted. It's an important case for many reasons. One of them, of course, being that these men's lives were forever altered, and their names known across the country for something they did not do. It's also very important because there is an issue in this country with people in general believing victims of sexual assault, no matter the evidence contrary. The biggest reveal in this scandal was how the media was willing to crucify 3 innocent young men for ratings and popularity. It also shows the willingness of the public to believe, without question, what the media feeds them. The main thing to take away from this case is to question what you hear from the media and public officials, and not jumping to conclusions without evidence. These simple lessons learned, if ignored, could save someone else from going through what Seligman, Evans, and Finnerty went through.